One of them has worked the meat section for 8 years. Another spent 3 years on the fresh fish counter. A third stocked the chilled aisle 5 days a week for 2 years straight. None of them buys what they used to sell you. I spent weeks gathering accounts from current and former Sainsbury's staff, people who handled these products every single day, who saw what happened before the packaging was sealed, and who made a quiet decision at some point that certain things in that store were never coming home with them. What they told me isn't a rumour. It's not a grudge. It's first-hand knowledge from inside the store, and some of it is going to make you genuinely uncomfortable. 10 items, 10 reasons to rethink your weekly shop. By the end of this video, you'll walk into Sainsbury's with completely different eyes. Let's start with number 10. Number 10. Sainsbury's Basics Sliced White Bread. Let's start with something almost every household buys without thinking. Sainsbury's Basics Sliced White Bread. It's cheap, it's convenient, and it looks completely harmless sitting on the shelf. But read the ingredient list, and a different story starts to emerge. A former Sainsbury's bakery department worker told me, the bread on that shelf has nothing to do with baking. It's a chemistry project. We'd get deliveries of product that smelled slightly chemical when you opened the bag. That smell is the preservative doing its job. The preservative they're referring to is calcium propionate. It's listed on the label of Sainsbury's own sliced white bread products. Calcium propionate is used to suppress mold and extend shelf life well beyond what naturally baked bread would last. Some studies have suggested links between calcium propionate consumption and behavioral changes in children, including irritability and sleep disturbance, though research is ongoing. The employee added, the bread is made using the Chorleywood process. That means it's produced in under 3 hours using intense mechanical working of the dough and chemical improvers. Traditional bread takes at least 12 hours. The speed is the problem. Your gut doesn't process Chorleywood bread the same way it processes real bread. If you want bread from Sainsbury's, look at the Taste the Difference seeded or sourdough loaves. The multi-seed loaf from that range has a significantly shorter, cleaner ingredient list and doesn't rely on the same battery of chemical emulsifiers. Now, if you thought bread was unexpected, the next one will really surprise you. This is one of the most purchased items in the whole store, and most people have no idea what they're actually drinking. Number 9. Sainsbury's by Sainsbury's Juice Drinks. Most people pick up a carton of what looks like fruit juice from the chilled section, assume it's healthy, and move on. The problem starts when you look at the difference between a fruit juice and a fruit juice drink. And on the Sainsbury's own brand shelves, that distinction is doing a lot of work. A former Sainsbury's ambient team worker told me, people assume the juice in that section is just pressed fruit. A lot of it isn't. Juice drinks can be as little as 10% actual fruit juice. The rest is water, sugar, citric acid, and flavouring. But the packaging is designed to look like the real thing. The By Sainsbury's fruit juice drink range is not the same product as pure fruit juice. Fruit juice drinks in the UK only need to contain a minimum of 1% fruit juice under food labelling regulations, though most contain around 10 to 25%. The remaining volume is water, with added sugar and flavourings to make up for what the fruit would have provided. You are paying for a heavily diluted, sweetened product in a format that signals health. An employee pointed out something else. Those cartons sit in the ambient aisle for months before they ever reach the chilled section display. Once they're in the chilled section, people assume they're fresh. They're not. They've been shelf-stable for a long time. If you want juice from Sainsbury's, buy the pure pressed or pure squeezed versions that list one ingredient. Or better still, eat the fruit itself. That was number 9, and we're only getting started. The next one is something that goes into millions of British sandwiches every single week, and the reality of what's in it is far from what you'd expect. Number 8. Sainsbury's Basics Minced Beef. Here's one that comes up in almost every conversation I've had with former meat department staff. Sainsbury's Basics Minced Beef. It's the go-to choice for bolognese, burgers and cottage pie across the country. And employees are unanimous that it's one they would never take home. A former meat department worker told me, Basics mince comes in already processed. It's not minced in the store. It arrives from a central facility and we just put it out. The fat percentage on the label says 20%, but that's an average. Some batches are noticeably higher, and the sourcing is the cheapest available. 20% fat content means that for every 100 grams you put in the pan, 20 grams is fat that will render out. That's before you consider what's mixed into that fat. Basics mince is produced from trim cuts and trimmings, the parts of the animal that don't make it into any other product. It's not necessarily mechanically recovered, but it's the lowest grade of whole muscle beef available. Basics mince gets used right up to its use by date before it goes yellow stickered. Sometimes the colour is slightly off when it comes in. We can't send it back because of the contracts we have with suppliers, so it goes out. That's what one employee told me. The colour of minced beef is also deceptive. Retail mince is packed in modified atmosphere packaging, which keeps the surface bright red by maintaining high oxygen levels inside the seal. The interior of the mince is often grey or brown because it's not exposed to oxygen. That red colour is not an indicator of freshness. It's a packaging effect. Instead, look at the Taste the Difference British beef steak mince. It's labelled at 5% fat and sourced from name British farms. The ingredient list says beef. That's all it says. We're past the halfway point now, and honestly, the next two are the ones that surprise me most, because on the surface they look like perfectly safe choices. They're not. Number 7. Sainsbury's pre-packed deli sandwiches. The pre-packed sandwich section is one of the busiest parts of Sainsbury's every lunchtime. Grabbed off the shelf, kept cool, looks fresh. Former staff have told me some things about these sandwiches that will make you think twice the next time you reach for one. A former food prep worker said, "Those sandwiches are made in central production facilities, not in the store. They're made early morning, sometimes the night before, and transported. By the time they reach the shelf, they've already been sitting for several hours. The use by date is for the end of that day, but the sandwich might have been made 14 or 16 hours earlier." The sodium content of Sainsbury's pre-packed sandwiches is also worth understanding. A single standard chicken and bacon sandwich from the Sainsbury's range can contain over 1.5 grams of salt. That's more than a quarter of your entire daily limit in one sandwich. Add a packet of crisps from the same meal deal and you're over half your daily salt intake before 3 in the afternoon. An employee told me, on warm days, sandwiches that are sitting at the front of the shelf or near the doors have been in a higher ambient temperature for part of the day. We can't tell which ones, neither can you. If you want a genuinely fresh sandwich from Sainsbury's, the bakery counter makes them to order on the day. That's a completely different product from what's sitting on a chilled shelf since early morning. What comes next is number 6. This is the one that employees mentioned most urgently. Almost every person I spoke to brought it up without me asking. Number 6. Sainsbury's Basics Frozen Chicken Breasts. Frozen chicken breasts from the Basics range. Cheap, convenient, and seemingly harmless. But employees have told me things about this product that go beyond quality concerns and into genuine food safety territory. A former warehouse worker told me those chicken breasts arrive in bulk cases. The cases get stacked and moved around. You'd open a case sometimes and there'd be ice crystals in the packaging that shouldn't be there. That kind of ice buildup tells you the product has been through temperature changes. It's been partly thawed and refrozen at some point before it even reached us. But we're under pressure to get product on the shelf, so out it goes. Every time you cook Basics chicken, watch the pan. The amount of liquid that comes off it is the giveaway. That's not juice from good quality chicken. That's all the injected water and phosphate solution released. The chicken shrinks down to nothing. You're cooking water out of what you thought was a chicken breast. The comparison tells the whole story. Sainsbury's, taste the difference. British free-range chicken breast fillets list one ingredient. British chicken breast fillet. 100%. No water, no phosphates, no fillers. The sourcing is RSPCA, assured and free range. That is a genuinely different product in every way that matters. Number 5. Sainsbury's Taste the Difference cooked meats. The Taste the Difference name is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. The packaging looks premium, the deli-style presentation is convincing, and the price reflects what you'd expect from a quality product. Employees who work in that section told me the reality is far less impressive. Taste the Difference cooked meats come from the same suppliers as the regular range in many cases. The quality difference is minimal. Sometimes it's just thicker slices and better packaging. You're paying around 40% more for essentially the same core product underneath. What's across the whole range of cooked meats is consistent and worth understanding. Every Taste the Difference ham product on Sainsbury's shelves contains sodium nitrite as a listed preservative. That's confirmed directly from the product pages. The honey roast Wiltshire cured ham, the air-dried ham, the salt beef sodium nitrite is in all of them. An employee pointed out another problem with the deli slicer. We use the same machine for everything on that counter. Regular ham, Taste the Difference ham, turkey breast, beef slices. We're supposed to clean it between different products, but during a busy lunchtime, that doesn't always happen. You're getting cross-contamination across every product we've sliced that day. The modified atmosphere packaging used for pre-sliced cooked meats is also something to think about. It keeps the product looking fresh by altering the gas inside the seal, but it can mask bacterial growth to the eye while counts continue rising. By the use-by date, levels of certain bacteria can already be quite high. If you do want cooked meat from Sainsbury's, look for the Taste the Difference Wiltshire cured ham or the outdoor bred pork products with short, clean ingredient lists. Buy the smallest pack, use it quickly, and don't push it to the use-by date. Now, if you thought that was bad, wait until you hear what employees said about the next one. This is one of the most commonly used sections in the store, and most people have no idea what's actually happening with it. Number 4. Sainsbury's fresh salad range. The salad range looks like the healthiest corner of the supermarket. Fresh vegetables, protein options, and pasta salads. It signals effort and care. Former Sainsbury's staff told me it's one of the worst things in the building. Those ingredients sit out for hours, often the entire day. We're supposed to change them every 4 hours. In practice, that rarely happens. Lettuce from the morning service is still there at closing. When we do refresh the trays, we don't discard the old content. We just added a new product on top. The pre-made pasta salads and coleslaw are even more concerning. We make those in bulk first thing, using ingredients that are already approaching their use-by dates. That pasta was cooked 2 or 3 days ago. The mayonnaise-based dressings sit at room temperature for the entire service period. Mayonnaise-based preparations must be kept below 5 degrees Celsius at all times to be food safe. The open salad bar does not maintain that. By midday, those salads are well into the temperature danger zone where bacteria multiply rapidly. Eating pasta salad that has been at room temperature since early morning is how food poisoning happens. Avoid the salad range entirely. If you want a salad from Sainsbury's, pick up a pre-packed one from the chilled section. At least that is kept at a consistent refrigerated temperature from packaging to your hands. We're nearly at the end of what to avoid. And trust me, the next 2 will surprise you. A lot of people think these are perfectly safe choices. Number 3. Sainsbury's reduced section meat. The yellow sticker section is one of the most popular spots in any Sainsbury's. Meat close to its use-by date marked down sharply. It looks like a bargain. Employees told me they would never, under any circumstances, buy meat from that section. I've seen meat in that section that I knew was compromised. It had an iridescent sheen on the surface. It smelled slightly sour. It was starting to feel tacky, but if it wasn't visibly rotten, the instruction was to reduce it and keep it on the shelf. The loss on the product is worse than the risk, apparently. Minced beef from the reduced section carries the highest risk of anything in the meat category. With mince, any bacteria that were on the surface of the original cut get mixed all the way through during grinding. If that beef wasn't perfectly fresh when it was minced, the contamination runs through the entire batch. The most serious claim from a member of staff was about relabeling. It happened. Meat that hadn't sold, even with a yellow sticker, would sometimes get repackaged with a new label in the back. New date, full price, back on the shelf. It's illegal, but it happens. Customers have no idea that the product is 4 or 5 days old. Do not buy meat from the reduced section. The savings are not worth the risk. If you want to reduce food waste, buy fresh produce at full price and freeze it yourself the same day. Number 2, Sainsbury's. Taste the difference. Sushi. Walk past the sushi counter and those boxes look genuinely appetizing. The Taste the Difference branding suggests quality sourcing and careful preparation. A former Sainsbury's employee gave me a very different picture of what those boxes actually contain. Raw fish should be consumed within 24 hours of being correctly thawed and kept at the right temperature throughout. The handling described here doesn't meet that standard. What you're buying as fresh sushi may contain fish that's been frozen, thawed, handled multiple times, and displayed under heat for most of the day. The rice is a separate problem entirely. We make huge batches of sushi rice in rice cookers first thing in the morning. It then sits at room temperature for hours. By the afternoon, that rice is a breeding ground for Bacillus cereus bacteria. Bacillus cereus is one of the most common causes of food poisoning in the UK, and improperly stored cooked rice is a well-documented source. Most people don't associate rice with food poisoning, which is exactly why this is so dangerous. An employee also told me about cross-contamination at the prep station. The same boards were used for raw fish, cooked rice and vegetable ingredients. During a quiet period, you'd clean between products. During a busy period, you'd wipe and keep going. Everything was going on. Everything. If you want sushi from Sainsbury's, buy the pre-packaged chilled range from the refrigerated aisle, where the temperature is consistent from production to shelf. Avoid anything prepared on site on the same day. Number 1, Sainsbury's reduced bakery items. And here we are, the item that surprised me most when employees brought up. Not because it seems dangerous, but because most people have absolutely no idea what they are actually buying when they pick up those yellow stickered bakery products at the end of the day. A bakery worker told me the items that get reduced are not always from that day. Sometimes they're from the day before, sometimes even the day before that. We are supposed to dispose of day-old bakery products. But management hates waste because it affects their bonus targets. So instead of being thrown away, items get reduced and put back out. Day-old bread is not dangerous, but when you are buying what you believe is today's bread, mark down because the day is ending and it is actually 2 to 3 days old. That is a straightforward deception. You are being misled about what you are purchasing. The pastries have a different problem. The fat content in croissants, pain au chocolat, and similar items oxidizes when exposed to air over time. That stale, slightly sour or rancid edge you notice in an old pastry is not just staleness. It is the beginning of fat oxidation, which produces compounds that have been linked to inflammatory responses in the body when consumed regularly. The bottom line is this: if a bakery item is sitting on a reduced shelf with a yellow sticker, you have no reliable way of knowing when it was actually made. The sticker tells you nothing about the origin date. And for anything containing cream, custard, or filled dairy products, that uncertainty is not worth the saving. Right, we've talked about the 10 items to avoid. Now let's talk about what you can actually trust in Sainsbury's, because there are good products in there and you need to know what they are. Number 3, Sainsbury's SO Organic Free Range Whole Chicken. After everything we've covered about the basics chicken range, here is what a proper chicken product from the same store looks like. The Sainsbury's SO Organic Free Range British Whole Chicken is a completely different product in every meaningful sense. These birds are certified organic and free range. That means they live outdoors and have genuine space to roam. No growth promoters, no routine antibiotics. The label lists one ingredient: Fresh Class A, British free range whole chicken. No added water, no phosphates, no fillers. A former Sainsbury's buyer confirmed the contrast. The SO Organic range has genuine sourcing standards behind it. It goes through a separate certification. It's not just marketing. Yes, it costs more, significantly more than the basics range, but you're buying an entirely different product. The meat is denser, the flavour is proper, and you know exactly what's in it. Cook it yourself, control what goes on it, and you're avoiding every problem we covered with the rotisserie chicken. Number 2. Sainsbury's 30 Days British Beef Steaks. If you're going to buy fresh red meat from Sainsbury's, the Taste the Difference steak range is where to look. Products like the thick-cut fillet steak and the outdoor-bred rump and sirloin cuts are sourced from British farms with proper traceability. The ingredient list is what you want to see on a piece of meat. Beef. That's it. No added water, no phosphates, no stabilizers. The Taste the Difference beef range uses 21-day minimum maturation, which improves both flavor and texture without any chemical intervention. Employees in the meat section pointed to this range specifically when asked what they'd buy. The TTD beef is the one section where the quality actually matches what's on the label. Proper cuts, proper sourcing, properly stored. That's the one I take home. Buy it fresh, cook it the same day, or freeze it immediately. Don't push it to the use-by date. That applies to any meat, regardless of quality. Number 1. Sainsbury's. Taste the Difference. British free range. Whole eggs. This one might surprise you, but eggs are one of the safest and most honest products in the whole store. Sainsbury's. Taste the Difference. Free range. Large eggs come from RSPCA, Assured British Hens. The ingredient list is one word: egg. No processing, no additives, no preservatives. The quality difference between free-range and caged eggs is real. Free-range hens produce eggs with better nutritional profiles and no welfare concerns attached to the purchase. Eggs are also one of the most versatile, genuinely nutritious foods available at any price point. They don't need a factory, they don't need modified atmosphere packaging, and they don't have a deceptive ingredient list. They are exactly what they say they are. "I'd buy the free-range eggs every time," said one employee. "They're one of the few things in the store where what you see is genuinely what you get. You don't need a lab to protect yourself, you just need to know what to look for. Here's how to spot the products to avoid before they end up in your trolley." The first thing to check is the ingredient list. Real food has short ingredient lists. A chicken breast should say chicken breast. A sausage with 17 ingredients is telling you exactly what it's made of. If you can't pronounce half the list, put it back. Look at the pork percentage on any sausage or processed meat. The basic sausages are 42% pork. The Taste the Difference sausages are 93%. That gap tells you everything about what's filling the other 58% of that basics banger. Any sausage below 70% meat content is mostly filler. On cooked meats, check for sodium nitrite. It appears on every cured ham, every reformed turkey slice, every processed beef product. It's not hidden. It's listed as a preservative. If you see it, you're looking at a nitrite-cured product and the associated health considerations that come with regular consumption. Watch for the words formed or reformed on any meat product. This tells you the product has been mechanically processed, compressed, and reconstructed. It is not a whole cut. It's scraps and trimmings held together with phosphates and enzymes. On frozen chicken, look for the phrase with added water or chicken breast fillet, followed by percentage signs. If the product says it is 90% chicken or less, the rest is injected water and chemical binders. Compare that to a product that simply says 100% British chicken. At the fish counter, trust your nose. If the counter has an unpleasant, sharp smell, that's fish past its best. Walk away. Genuinely fresh fish has a mild oceanic smell, not a pungent one, and always ask when the fish arrived. If the staff hesitate or can't answer, you have your answer. At the salad range, ask yourself one question: how long has this been sitting here? If you don't know, and if it's past lunchtime, the answer is long enough. The chilled, pre-packaged alternative 2 aisles over are the safer choice. And the most important rule of all, if it's on a yellow sticker and it's meat, leave it. The discount is not worth what's been building on that product since the last time it was properly fresh. Have you been buying any of these items? Did this change how you'll shop at Sainsbury's? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video opened your eyes, share it with someone who shops there every week. They need to know this. Subscribe for more investigations like this because there is a lot more coming. What you don't know really can hurt you.